Hey, hey, this is the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Paula Veganolin.
And this is the Zara episode, but all the Zaras are late.
Yeah, we have a couple Zaras that are supposed to be on this episode.
Yeah, one of them's our host.
Yeah, Zara Ali.
And then the other one is a comic who's been on our shows.
Zara Norbaksh. So basically, we're just stalling until they get
We're like, we need content.
When you got to record, you got to record.
Yeah, man, duty calls. Duty. The death of love.
The death. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Wait, is that a spoiler? Did I just...
No.
No,
They
I
don't
didn't
even know what it's
spoil
for.
it. Yeah.
That was from
Game of Thrones. Oh, I said it. Oh,
I was
now you know piece of dialogue. Oh no.
I was gonna say like Gracie and Frank. What is it? Grace and Frankie.
I
Some
love that
shit.
show.
I haven't seen it, but
Oh my god, like they're incredible. Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, man.
those are two like
Chemistry.
epic actors.
And that's like actually, you know, I didn't even realize it was Baron Vaughn on that show until he was here. I'm like, oh my god, like duh.
Yeah.
You know, it just didn't strike me. I think I watched it like when it first came out. I only watched the first season.
So now when I see shows, I like recognize a lot of friends or like up and coming like comics and actors and stuff that like we know through people or whatever. And it really like I'm so happy for their success, but I'm also like, man, this takes me out of it. That's my buddy.
You're trying to suspend disbelief to be in the show, and then you're like,
that's my dumbass friend.
yeah, I saw him pick a wedgie, like, you know. He's not a nuclear physicist.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've been running. But now I like tagging them in things. Being like, what? My friend's on Hulu.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's engagement.
Yeah.
It's helping with their engagement. So, like, how was your day? What'd you do today?
I was at home. I like was applying, submitting to a lot of like stand-up shows and like paying bills and stuff, and went and got my dog. My dog has to have prescription meat.
Wait, what?
It's like
lab made meat, like, or
no, not like not an Impossible Burger.
Yeah, I was about to say, are those supposed to be good for you?
Yeah, but no,
they are. Okay.
Because it's like vegan, so it's
so
like
it's automatically.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there's some vegan shit that's
Oreos is probably bad.
You don't
for
need to be eating.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's vegan.
Well, like, isn't like wood vegan?
Who do you know? Just like throwing sauce on wood.
Well, like, okay, so like back in India, you know, sometimes they would use like a stick to brush
floss. Yeah,
what's it called?
Or like picking your teeth or whatever.
No, not a toothpick. Like, there's actually like a type of stick you can use to brush your teeth. Like, it's a type of wood,
and it's just the wood that's on your teeth.
I think so, and it's supposed to be like a sort of a breath freshener. They had it in Saudi. I don't remember what it's called, but I think like my mom was saying like they had that in India as well.
Yeah.
But
that's I don't know.
It's vegan.
And
don't swallow it.
Stop
don't
eating
swallow
wood, kids.
Yeah.
This is the new Tide Pod.
It started here. God, like we just have such an influence over pop culture.
I know.
You know?
So many tens of people.
Parents, you be responsible for your children. They don't need to be listening.
I am very surprised at how much like a group of loud people on Twitter will like cause this like whole thing to happen. I feel like that kind of happened with like the Oscars and Kevin Hart and stuff. Like I felt like a small group of people, not invalidating their complaints or whatever, but like it felt I'm like they're gonna come after me. But it felt like a small group of people like made this like things are big on Twitter and then they like hit the news or whatever.
Well, that's where I get my news from is Twitter.
Yeah, I get it from like
I'm not waiting for someone to write a whole article. Just tell me what's going on.
Yeah, that's
if there's a shooting in a mall, I'm going on Twitter to find out about that shit.
If governments are falling.
I'm not waiting for CNN to send me an email update.
Yeah, send a dude out to a storm or some shit.
Oh my god. Well, I've been up for a while.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did that. I finished the promo for our Irvine show, July 23rd. I think I just made up a number. So yeah, I didn't go to bed till like 5 a.m. because we had like our meeting and then we were hanging. So, you know, duty
calls.
And then I did Adam Todd Brown's podcast, Unpopular Opinion.
Oh yeah, how's that?
It was sick, man. It was super fun. It's always fun to let my nerd flag fly because I have the weird nerd flag. Like I'm about aliens and nuclear energy and the suppression of like conspiracy shit. It's fun for me, but like everyone brought their own unpopular opinion, and mine was mine was, I think the government should disclose its contact with extraterrestrial intelligence, and I was like, I know that in itself is controversial. So, my point, or I asked everyone to suspend disbelief. Most people were into the aliens. There was one guy who wasn't, but I was like, just suspend disbelief. And if this is the case, let's talk about why they should, disclose this, why there should be full disclosure. And one theory, there's a guy named Dr. Stephen Greer. He was a medical doctor, and now he is a big advocate for full disclosure of, I think it's an open secret. Aliens are an open secret.
Specifically aliens, or like everything in general? Would Dr. Stephen Greer
specifically for extraterrestrial contact, and also the technology that's been because, and this is what we were talking about, like, I guess like energy sources. Energy sources that don't pollute and are sustainable. So, Zara just walked in. This is our episode. One of our Zara. We're waiting on Norbush. Okay. So we just started, but like, I was just telling her that I did Adam Todd Brown's podcast, Unpopular Opinion. Okay. And my unpopular opinion is that the government should disclose all information about alien contact and the technology they've been suppressing. And I think the reason for suppressing it, you followed the money. Who suffers from, the disclosure of this information? Who benefits from hiding this information? Fossil fuel industry, people who have money invested in it. So
I feel like
that's my tinfoil hat moment.
Like there has to be alien life form, like it's already like established.
Has to be.
Yeah, I think there's already like, given that there's like water on Mars and shit, like I just feel like there is some form of alien life. But I also like would be so sad if we'd made contact and we're still living in this shit world we live in now.
Well, also alien is such a vague word, right? Like there could be like, like platypus aliens, and there could be like, bacteria, interdimensional, intelligence that can project their form here to interact with us. I don't know, like it's, or amoebas, I don't fucking know.
You think there's aliens that are more advanced intellectually
why
than
not?
Humans out there? You think there's
absolutely, like, statistically there have to be.
There's other life out there in the universe
100%
that has somehow the ability to reach out to us.
Yeah.
All right.
I choose to believe that.
I'm not sure if that's true. I know that in terms of like life forms, I'm thinking more in terms of like bacteria and stuff on other planets or whatever. But like, it would be like, I just like thinking if there are like aliens with this technology and we just like still live in like this world and like our government is just filled with dumbasses, like that is so tragic.
Well, there's like a whole other thing I have about like how the powers that be are moving towards sort of like a central control. Everyone's in on it, and they're the ones who talk to the aliens.
I feel like there's also like this. I don't know why this brought, but like how like evangelicals. Wow, right? I don't care. But evangelicals like believe that they want the end of the world to come. That's part of the reason. Like they want Judgment Day, right? Like that's part of their thing.
Oh, so many of the religions want Judgment Day,
but that's like
love judgment.
I mean, everybody in Islam thinks like, oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Like it's exciting.
It's happening.
What happens in Islam with Judgment Day?
So I don't know if you heard this in your mosque, Zara, but like, and I don't know if this was a fear-based scare tactic.
I mean, I tune out so often when I was forced to go to mosques, so I don't know. I'll try to corroborate, but I don't know. Go ahead.
They might have made this stuff up, but they were saying like your body parts will testify against you if you lie. So like,
damn, my pussy gonna say
that's
some
what
bad
I'm saying.
shit.
Your pussy gonna say something. Your fingers could tell on your pussy.
No,
your
my
pussy
labia don't lie.
Oh my God, yo,
I didn't tell you that.
You know what? That's like when the men will implicate themselves. Like their dicks are just gonna be the worst part. No, I've not heard about that. I've heard like a lot of like other things that like grown-ups tell you growing up to scare you, like the veins, however many veins you have under your tongue. Like they tell you like to lift up your tongue, you know, just to see how many veins you have, and that's how many snakes are gonna bite you in hell, and all this other like bullshit type of stuff. And I'm like, this is not real.
I know. So we're going to Sunday school. We're being told stuff like that. I was told one time.
This wasn't in Sunday school. This was just like all the aunties. Like if you're misbehaving, like it's just something that they pull you aside.
Fear-based tactics.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one time they told us someone like put a Quran in the toilet and angels came with a bag of rocks and beat them up.
There were no toilets when the Quran was written, okay?
Well, it wasn't even written on paper. It was in memory for like, what, 100 years?
Yeah, but you were thinking it into the toilet. We know. You were projecting it.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
The world's pretty nuts.
But there is, in Islam, there is this, like, all right, we have to get ready for doomsday. Like, everything is a very much, like...
Mormons stock stuff up in, like, their basements and shit. For, like, I don't know if it's for,
They
like...
ready?
They ready.
Yeah, in Islam, we just pray ourselves to, like, all right, let's just hope we go to heaven. Like, people who are always praying, I'm like, what did you do in your life where you feel like you're going to be condemned unless you pray? That's 5 times a day.
Yeah. Born again Christians, it's like getting sober. It's like you did some shit and that's why you need this now.
Yeah, it's just like, what did you do?
You got too drunk or something and now you're a born again Christian to like make up for it.
Dude, I feel like some people use religion the way some people use drugs.
Yeah.
Like it's like their
people
it's
are
an addiction
obsessed.
for a lot of people.
It's like a compulsion. Like the whole like I need to pray 5 times a day. I need to do this.
Somebody one of my friends was saying that they think that religion was born out of like OCD almost. And that's like that's how like ritual and all of that stuff got like established.
I believe it because it's so there's parts of Islam that are so like
stabilizing for some people.
There's traditions associated with religions that are so like ceremonious and like very routine and so many like other customs about it, and it's like it's almost like setting up a stage.
Yeah.
Like whenever I go to the mosque and stuff, it's like, oh, it's beautiful, but it's just like, why do we do this every year on this day? For centuries, like why?
And to me, like if a ritual, if there's no meaning to it, it's empty. So what's the point?
For me,
for us, it seems like there's no point, right? Because like we've like come outside of it, but for them, it's like their world, like they believe in it.
But or also, it's like for us. I feel like Hindus are like hella laid back, especially in the U.S. And
Y'all
so
had
like
all the fun. I was
we
jealous.
went to temple for fucking food and dancing. Like that's what I felt like I was going. My dad's like an atheist. He was like, we gotta go. It's a community, whatever. But like they in all of the watching my generation get married, like the priest will like say like just like mumble some shit for like 2 hours, and you have to like repeat after them. None of us have any idea. Like they have to translate to the people.
What language?
And like Hindi or Sanskrit or whatever like language of the area, depending on where the wedding is, I guess. I don't know. I think like probably a lot of it is in Sanskrit, but like, we have no idea what they're saying or why they're doing it. We just like repeat after and do what they say, and so it's kind of funny. Yeah. It's like silly, and like in the middle of a thing, they'll call somebody up to do something that the person had like no idea. It's very impromptu. Yeah, but it is like. Just a show, and it's like a nostalgic thing.
I want to go to a black church.
Yeah. Oh, they're so much fun.
I would love to, like, just the community.
But they have their own, like, rituals and stuff, But they're pretty lit, though.
I love the singing.
It's fun.
I think
that's epic.
That's like where a lot of talent is born that we like see. Like, didn't like Whitney
some of the best vocalists?
Singing? Yeah,
the most gifted vocalists came from like black churches.
It's not just the black churches. It's like a lot of. I grew up with a bunch of like white Christian friends that like learned how to sing through the choir and stuff too. Yeah. It's a thing. Like Johnny Cash grew up like learning hymns and stuff. That's it. A lot of country singers learn that way.
Yeah, that's
I guess
true.
I'm just thinking of like some of the most epic vocalists. Like the Whitney Houstons, like how does this come out of a voice box type of stuff, and. I don't know if you just see a disproportionate number of that in.
Well, it's kind of this might be a disrespectful way of saying it, but like if they're starting that early in the arts, like through church as their vehicle, that's like how K-pop kids are started. Like they're put into schools when they're like 9, 10, whatever, and then like
set up and groomed.
Yeah, so it's like they are not only very talented on their own, but they have like a community that's like, yeah, let's figure out your performing abilities.
That's kind of like what we were talking about yesterday briefly about like privilege. How like So we were talking about how, like, you know, legacies, how there is a privilege in placement. Like, if you're born to, like, someone who works in the entertainment industry, you're going to automatically have a leg up.
Oh, yeah.
And that doesn't, you know, people get all iffy about their privilege. Like, are you saying my talent is less? Like, no. This is just the whole picture.
Well, it's like someone else put in that foundational work, right? So if like someone else's parents like went through all the bullshit, you know, I mean, it's a different kind of bullshit today as it was like 30 years ago when their parents went through it. It's like, well, fine, whatever. Like if I have a kid who decides to go into whatever I'm doing at that time, like, all right, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Life is hard. Why make it harder for your kids?
Yeah, totally. Like, why wouldn't you provide that support for
I mean,
your
it's
kid?
a competitive advantage, but I don't know.
I think it pisses people off who don't have the privilege, though. Because I know everyone, like, has been triggered by, you know, I've been triggered
It is
by some
unfair.
things.
You know what it is? I don't like it when it's uncovered, you know?
What do you
like,
mean?
Oh, when they hit it?
When they hide it, you know?
But
like,
you kind of understand why they would, though, because they don't want to be judged.
Yeah, I think I have friends who are in that position, and they, like,
get it.
They're people straight up think that the only reason they're talented is because they come from a family. And it's like, no, they have the talent, and then they also have the access. Like,
but I've seen like people
80%.
I've seen people put in the work. Like it's no secret in like comedy. Like Chris D'Elia, like his dad is like a very well known executive producer, but he started off sucking like everybody else. Like he started off going to the open mic at the Haha Comedy Club.
Well, yeah, and, once you have the access, you have to be able to do something with it.
Yeah, and Damon Wayans Jr.
Yeah. The whole Wayans family.
The whole Wayans family. I mean, they're just born with talent, but also, like, they're out here doing open mics and stuff, too. Like, Damon Jr., to this day, he'll still show up at, like, a random bar show and an open mic and, like, make friends with people at the mic and stuff. So
nice.
Oh, yeah.
So funny.
He's very sweet.
Yeah, he does that.
So, I don't know. I'm not hating on, you know, the legacies in entertainment, but it's always interesting to find out because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense now.
But it's interesting because sometimes privilege spoils people, and they're just assholes.
It does.
I bet I have no idea, like, the people. I know, like, a couple people who have parents in the entertainment industry that are doing comedy, but I bet there's so many more that I just, like, have no idea.
Well, like, Richard Pryor's son is a comedian.
Oh my God! Did you see the Apollo?
I haven't. I don't want to watch it because it's
weird.
Brutal.
He got like booed off stage,
man.
but it's weird because he has
Apollo, but
and he's not Richard Pryor, but he has like a lot of his father's mannerisms and like cadence.
He
and voice.
Looks exactly like his dad.
He looks
very interesting.
And so to see that happen was like crazy. I think he was like set up. Kind of, you know, like to fail, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't ready, and
Dad's like the best comic of all time.
He just wasn't ready. I feel bad for the guy.
His dad put in the work.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
but like you also have to put in the work, you know, and that's I don't know.
I mean, I think of like comedy like being a professional athlete or being a musician. It's just like you have to put in the time, otherwise, like if you're not training, then how are you going to be fit?
Yeah.
So there's something else we were talking about of like having to reprioritize in this industry because now we have to do everything. Like we have to be actors, comics, producers, writers,
editors, video editors,
PR people.
Yeah.
Business people.
There's like a whole bunch of skills I picked up with comedy.
Well, so it's tough because it's just like, you know, as comics, we want to be up every night and like that's our thing. But like we have to reprioritize because there's money in TV. There's money
short-term versus long-term investment.
Yeah. Also, if we're trying to be on TV, and we've talked about ageism and stuff before in prior episodes, but it's like you can't be out networking 1-2. You can't always do that midnight spot.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to be on set at like 6 a.m. in the morning for hair and makeup and all of that stuff. Also, if
drop out of shows sometimes.
Yeah, but if you're constantly living that lifestyle of like these 11 midnight shows and then networking after and stuff, you age. It just
like how am I supposed to work this hard and look young?
A year of doing that, and it's like you can't get cast as a 25-year-old. Like you know, you can't. If I'm going in for castings as people in their early 20s and sometimes teenagers, it's like and there's actual teenagers in those casting rooms. It's like, all right, well, I can't do this like 1 a.m. conversation in the green room, you know. And
this is why like I like don't like drink as much anymore. Like I barely drink now.
Yeah, you have to pick and choose your battles.
So I had to go in for an 18-year-old, which is absurd to me. I'm not.
Oh, I saw someone hating on you.
Yeah, so Aston, our boy Aston.
Aston Wallace.
It was funny. It made me laugh.
Yeah, we should.
Because I think it's silly too. Because like he responded to I posted on Insta story, and he responded 18 ? Exclamation point. And it's funny because
you just said exclamation point.
Oh, exclamation.
No, but that's funny.
That is funny. Freudian slip, exclamation point. I was like, explain yourself, Aston. Yeah, but I mean, it's like I could biologically have an 18-year-old kid if I got my period like 2 years earlier. Like, it's ridiculous. But I'll take the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about building up credits right now. So
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, we all submitted for the Mindy thing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't comfortable doing the accent, but it's like, all right.
It was annoying because you had to do an accent for that character.
Yeah.
You had to do an accent. There was no way around it.
Yeah.
It also said hot. So I was just like, fuck. When I was submitting, I was feeling very self-conscious.
Everyone in LA can make themselves
like,
hot.
Most beautiful woman. And I was like, yeah, I'll submit. Okay, yeah. Of course.
You learn how to put yourself together in LA. Like, you have no idea what I look like when I came to LA.
I do because of your
pictures.
throwbacks.
Yeah. I've seen pictures.
Your mullets and stuff.
It was a hot mess. Like, people looked at me like sideways. They're like, what is this?
Imagine if you were the mullet comic instead of Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
What if that was your brand?
Oh my God. I know. You know what? Okay, so sometimes people are like, well, it's a good thing I didn't get famous like when I was younger because I couldn't have handled it. Like, it would have been triggering. I would have lost my mind. I would have self-sabotaged. And like, that's hard to understand until you start having the experience of progressing your career and like getting those triggers. Yeah. Have you guys felt that? Like, where as you advance, it's just like kind of triggering almost? Like, I don't know if there's more pressure, like, oh, now more is at stake.
It's up and down, I think, because then you have more experience, but then also simultaneously, like, I mean, we are aging, we are like feeling like we have to meet these checkpoints or whatever, and then you see like younger people get in like faster or whatever, and that can be like triggering, but it's just like everybody's different, so you can't.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. Can't compare.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, but I always feel pressure. That's just how I operate. Like, I'm always operating from a space of like, how the hell did I get here? It's always, my imposter syndrome is something that I really need to take care of because it's like always there. So I always have to like check myself.
That's hard, man.
It's really hard.
It's super painful. I get it. Just not feeling enough. I feel like there's some sort of conditioning I have in me where I feel like fundamentally unlovable.
It's your parents.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to.
I
didn't want to call them out.
No, I mean, it's our
they,
parents. It's how we were raised, right? Like, I don't, and we know this. Like, we don't realize until we're adults, like, how much damage was done during our childhood.
Can you imagine what they went through? Like, just
yeah, and I started thinking about that too. I'm like, you know what? Like, they're fucked up too. Like, I can't be that mad at them.
I'm almost like the buck stops here. I don't know that I want to have a kid so they can resent me for like screwing them up because it's like I can. I don't think I'm built to be a parent.
I don't know. But like,
maybe
also,
a step parent.
Think about how many parents were like, how many people were like, all right, when my kids, I'm going to be completely different. Like, I'm going to do better than my parents did with me.
Well,
and then it's like, it's just like a vicious cycle that never ends.
But the idea is just progression. Like, just to make it better for your kids. And I also think not to convince you to have kids or whatever, but I think I think you're a very like kind and compassionate person, and you like know yourself. And there are like plenty of kids without parents out there. Like
I'm open to adopting.
That's what I was thinking.
If I really want to be a parent for the right reasons, not vanity reasons, then maybe I'd adopt.
Yeah, I think that's like a thing that I would feel like pretty comfortable with.
No, I feel like adoption is a good like vanity route to take too, because like giving birth really fucks up your body. Like most moms I know, like forget what Hollywood tells you, because like I know I have friends who are gynecologists. Like all those women are getting tummy tucks after they give. Yeah, it's like it's a known thing.
Cardi, she like talked about the lipo she just got, and I was like feeling like fat and gross, and I was just like, Cardi just got lipo. What am I worried about?
She got lipo and she got her boobs redone after the kid. So it's like it's a secret that Cardi kind of revealed, but it's like. It's not possible. You don't look like your former self. after having a kid.
And see, that's also a thing. It's like, I don't know that I want a biological child that much to go through that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you actually want the experience of
I think
having
it would
a kid.
I think it would be cool to feel something like, I feel like that's such a, like, not a human experience, but that's like one of the biggest experiences in life is to like feel something, if you can, like to feel something like growing inside of you. That seems like crazy. Like just to, you know, feel that. But simultaneously, I just, like, I'm trying to think like bigger picture, and there are so many kids who like need like stability, and that like really helps stop the cycle with them too, you know, like, you know, having kids that, because I posted like
to adopt though, right?
It is really expensive, and it's not easy. And
especially if they're older too, because they all have all this programming now to, like, already, you know.
Yeah.
But for foster kids, there's like so many, and then like 80% of like the girls who come out of foster, who age out or something, have like kids by the time they're 21. So the cycle, it just like continues and continues. And I just like feel like that's where you have to.
And that's why you need abortions.
But that's crazy. What's going on? Are we in the
why
Handmaid's Tale now?
That's why I posted those facts. I'm gonna pull them up.
But see, like that's the thing is like when I was watching Handmaid's Tale and knowing what happened to
I haven't watched after. I only watched the first season.
Okay, I won't. No spoilers. But like, to me, that's not outside of the realm of possibility at all. And we know what happened to Afghanistan.
What happened in Afghanistan?
In the 70s, it was like
it was a normal
bell-bottoms and you know, and then suddenly
it was a
like
normal
a war,
society, and then it got taken over, got occupied essentially.
This is not unprecedented.
Yeah,
and that was pretty recent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, within our parents' lifetime, they've seen changes.
So in the show, how did they take control of the government? I think it was through like violence and
it was through violence. But I don't remember. It was just so. It was so like. It takes you on this journey, you know? It makes you, like, think a lot of, like, crazy things. So I didn't... Because it's just, like, people are constantly getting raped and, you know, I don't know.
Handmaids?
In Handmaids, yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't. I feel like it's...
But it might be very triggering. Some people can't handle it.
It is kind of triggering. It is.
I think I watched, like, part of one episode, and I was just like, I don't
Yeah, I mean, they're, like, abusive to women, and it's just a lot of, like, psychological warfare going on, too.
It's a hard story, but the thing is, like...
But there's so much suspense, right? And you get engaged with the main characters, so it's like you want to see them win.
Do you know she's a Scientologist?
Elizabeth Moss?
Yeah, she's brilliant.
I did not know that. I didn't know she's a Scientologist.
I think she is. I hope I'm not just making that up.
I also feel like in Hollywood, Scientologists have a leg up too.
I mean,
that's part of the network, right?
Yeah. It's part of. There's this. Do you guys remember that Persian girl in How I Met Your Mother who dated Barney Simpson for a while?
Who? I don't.
I forget her name. I forget her real name. She's a dark-haired Persian girl, but she was dating one of the main characters. And then she just stayed on for like a recurring character. And I found out later on that she was like, they were considering her as a wife for Tom Cruise and stuff. And so while all these rumors were going on, it's like the more and more episodes she was just randomly appearing on How I Met Your Mother. And it's like, maybe like a bunch of us just go in, because I feel like they need different ethnicities in Scientology anyway. Like it could
I already
just be
told
a
you my
way
Scientology story. That stuff's seems a little nuts. And do you guys watch the Leah Remini documentary?
I didn't.
I've just seen like interviews with her, but I haven't seen the full documentary.
Yeah. So I mean, just some of what they reveal, like the damage. It's like a cult.
Yeah,
it's like a cult. So it's, you know, there's isolation from your community, original community. And
they take you away from your family and friends.
Provide you with resources, so then you become dependent.
Yeah,
emotionally, financially, who knows? Well, financially, they sort of drain you as well. That's the name of the Scientology game.
It is like a cult.
Oh, very much so. It runs like a business. It's a cult that's also a business.
Yeah, but like there's been successful people coming out of there. So you never know. I don't know.
Is it worth it, though?
It seemed like they're giving up their control of their like lives and stuff and who they can talk to in order to come out of there. I don't know.
It's not something I'm seriously considering. Not
okay.
You know.
So it seems
Zara just disappears from facial
I
recognition.
would maybe entertain it.
All right, so talking about making it, it seems like to get on HBO as a woman, you have to show your boobs.
You have to.
Do you?
Yes, it's what we learned.
You can get away with it, but like if you have boobs, even if you don't have boobs that are worth seeing, they want to see them.
Oh, in Game of Thrones, there were so many boobs.
Stand-up specials. They're like, show your tits first, then get on stage.
Do it naked. That's all.
No, I think in order to get onto one of the TV shows, though, in Insecure, in Issa Rae shows, I haven't seen any boobs. Have
She
you?
did get jizzed in her eye though.
Yeah, but I didn't
but
see
that was
any.
for the
I'd be
comedic
okay
effect.
with that.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
for
see any
jokes.
boobs on
Really?
Insecure. Have you?
I don't think I have.
I don't think
I
I've
haven't
seen
actually
boobs.
watched. I only watched like the pilot. I gotta watch.
Oh,
I
watched.
gotta sit down. And
I've watched
go
the
through it. I heard it's excellent.
whatever,
It's
I
so
know.
good.
whatever season they're going to be coming. Yeah, I'm like up to date. But yeah, there's no boobs in there.
Okay.
There's
I
a
don't
lot of. I
remember
mean,
being boobs.
it's HBO, so it's like
That's good to
rated R
know.
material and stuff. But yeah, no boobs. That's the one show on HBO I think I have not seen boobs. But Game of Thrones, I started this year and I finished it.
Did you
and-
count?
What?
Did you count the boobs?
Not
Not pairs.
It's
the individual
countless.
boobs.
It's countless. It's just so many boobs. I mean, I think in the beginning there was a lot more boobs.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you
but
think there are more boobs or more deaths in Game of Thrones?
definitely more deaths.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think because
'Cause that
this last
dragon.
season,
Wars.
because the dragon, because the wars and stuff. The
The
last
wars
season-
are bigger than the brothels.
Let's
That's true.
tell men that the wars are bigger than the brothels, guys. This is not our problem. Stop blaming women for your wars.
Oh my god.
Blow shit out of proportion.
No, I have this joke about Game of Thrones where like people are like harping on Game of Thrones for not really showing diversity, but I think they've showed a lot of diversity in boobs. Like round boobs, pointy boobs, like all sorts of boobs, honestly. Like I feel like my boobs belong in Hollywood now after what I've seen on Game of Thrones.
They did a service.
Yeah, because they showed like
representation.
basically the entire landscape of whatever boobs you saw in medieval times, like that. I mean, they're there,
a whole
yeah,
lot of natural
a whole
boobs.
lot
Yeah,
of natural boobs.
Women
Oh,
with
there are
fake boobs are not going to
natural-
get hired to do Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I saw a bunch of real boobs. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
they were real
most of them
boobs.
were real boobs.
Yeah, because I mean, it'd be weird to see implants in like King's Landing.
I mean, if there
And,
were
like duck face, like the lip injections
yeah,
and shit.
if there were implants, they were probably really good.
Yeah.
because I didn't notice any.
Yeah,
It is weird that you can tell for a lot of these things, and that we're just like, okay, we've accepted that it looks weird, but
Yeah.
we think it's fine, and you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, in Beverly Hills, it's almost like a status thing. Like it's almost like you have to kind of look
Look
like you had
fake.
some
Yeah.
surgery, and to like people who aren't used to that looks odd.
it feels like do you guys know Uncanny Valley in like CGI and stuff, where it's like people like they create faces and stuff, and it's almost human, but it's not, and
Yeah.
it's like that uncanny feeling. It's like the between being like a total cartoon and very realistic. That's what people look like in real life now, just like
sticks out.
Uncanny Valley.
Would you guys consider plastic surgery? We were talking about being women, in
Just
Hollywood.
being women.
being women.
Yeah, I would. I would have to do it in like a hopefully a graceful way, because what I'm seeing right now is some people I see in and around Hollywood, and sometimes I'm like stuck in a conversation with them where it's like, I don't want to look at your face because I feel bad.
Weird.
I feel bad what you did to your face, and it's like people that we know, like people, who are young enough where they didn't need it. And it's just
yeah.
like, wow, your face looks so, like, it doesn't look right.
Body
know?
dysmorphia is real.
It is a very real thing. And unfortunately, in LA, it's like, it's rampant.
Oh my god, how could it not be?
So I hope like someone pulls me aside before it like gets that bad, because also I think doctors here are just like trigger happy, like
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
whatever you want, they'll just give you that injection. They'll
they
like
charge per syringe.
it's
They
insane
look
to me.
like their patients.
Exactly.
like have fake faces.
And it's great. Why is it the more plastic surgery you do, the more you start looking like a lion? Like you don't look like
yeah.
well, because if your
why?
nose gets smaller, it's kind of
It's just-
cat-like. Your eyes, if your
They do
skin
the
gets
pullback
pulled,
Yeah.
thing.
your
Yeah.
eyes
But like
get
all
kinda
these
cat-like.
fillers and stuff, like even I think there's a motorcycle
It's
parade
the
going
charm.
on. Yeah.
It's the charm.
It's the Sons of Anarchy
we're actually
outside.
we're recording on the street.
Yeah. We're Billy on the street. Answer these questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually been pretty quiet considering.
Yeah.
For a weekend, yeah. Though I have friends also like around the country where like they've all started getting Botox and stuff, and it's like, what? Why? Like now, I would.
They say it's preventative also, but
Really?
Sure.
But remember,
But it
Monarch
also
told
wears
us.
it wears out too.
Yeah, remember Monarch told us like they see musculature doesn't work well with Botox.
Really?
And I kind of believe it because my mom had some sort of injection under her eye, and it ended up being kind of botched.
But our muscles aren't. How are our muscles different?
She said that, and she said that because she had her own experience.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to. Anyway, we're women in Hollywood.
Well,
so
I don't know. I think Monrock still looks great, and I don't think anything went wrong. But I don't know.
That's what she was saying about advising South Asian women to be careful about getting Botox.
But also, plastic surgery and Botox and enhancements have all made their way to Bollywood too. Like if you look at some of the stars that we grew up watching in the '90s and the early 2000s, they're all getting work done too. And
does it look good? Because if it looks good, that'll be a big relief.
It's like hit or miss. Hit or miss.
Ooh, it's always hit or miss.
Hit or miss, but there are some women that's just like, wow, whatever you did worked really well for you.
What the hell is J-Lo doing?
Didn't she have didn't we talk about her stem cell things?
Yeah, she had like stem cell, like some umbilical cord, like cream.
I feel like it's like creams and moisture and just moisture. I just feel like she's always moisture.
It's a lot of like facials and stuff, but I think she's definitely getting work done. Also, I think she just has good genes.
She also is fucking in shape. Like she is a dancer, like through and through. Like her performance ability is insane.
Oh my god!
The year she gave
killing these young kids.
Yeah. Also, the year she gave birth to her twins, she ran the New York Marathon that year as a way to get back in shape.
That's wild.
Who the fuck runs New York City marathon like after they give birth?
Fucking J-Lo.
To two babies.
Superwoman, man.
Yeah, it's insane to me. Yeah,
I mean, just the whole idea of giving birth to two babies seems like enough. Then you want to run a marathon after that? And now you have to raise these children for 18 years?
I think she's just
that's
a bionic
the marathon.
Woman. She's just bionic. I mean,
she's very physically
She's
fit.
coming out with a new movie.
She's also been very rich for a long time, so you have resources and help.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. Is like it almost like pains me because I'm like, so like Cardi, for example, has access to like whatever food and like trainer and whatever, and she still was like, I gotta get my tummy tucked. Like still access to all of that.
I mean, I think it's a matter of timing, and there's also your body does change after, maybe, I don't know if, does your body collect fat around the stomach after you have a kid?
I mean, everybody's body's
your
different.
Hormones change, and that changes how you.
We don't know. We don't know if J-Lo's had work done. We don't really know who's had work done.
She looks great. So if she has, I would like the resources and information for when I am her age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I've also heard that she's like a very meticulous and a diva about like her entourage and her beauty squad and all of that. Like she has a glam team that needs to come with her everywhere.
Would you have a glam squad if you could afford it?
Probably.
Is that a priority?
I feel like it would be a good opportunity to give people jobs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would take them like everywhere, but I feel like it would be like my friends who did makeup. I'd be like, come on this trip with me. We'll do something. I don't know.
Like on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, like some people have their glam squads that they travel with.
I feel like if you're Beyonce level, J-Lo level, that's like your body is your product.
Yeah.
So like they
You'd
have
be surprised. A lot of people like have their personal glam squad like ready and available.
Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah. Why not?
If
I have people I trust,
photo shoots, you do more like appearances, you're gonna like need it.
Yeah. Absolutely, because it's like my makeup's not gonna hack it.
Yeah, I mean you become like good friends with people who like do your hair and makeup, because of however many events you have to do. Like the wedding I went to like 2 months ago, it was a wedding of the personal hairstylist for Rebel Wilson, and it's not like Rebel Wilson is known to be like this like beauty diva or whatever. I mean she's beautiful, but it's like I'm gonna go to my hairstylist destination wedding because she's like one of my best friends, like
I did a Second City class with her 13 years ago.
Really?
What?
Yeah. She was still in Australia. She had her own TV show in Australia at the time, but she hadn't broken into America. So she came by. It was like an intensive because I was still in college, and it was before I moved to LA.
Oh, so it was in Florida?
It was in LA, but I flew out to LA.
Okay, got it.
As a,
That's cool.
Yeah, I was young.
She's a lawyer.
She is a lawyer?
She has a law degree. Rebel Wilson she has a law degree.
Oh, I had no idea.
So I think she started it. I mean, it's hard to get into law school, and it's like a 5-year program there. So I think she was in her 2nd or 3rd year when she started getting more famous.
Yeah.
But she's like, it took me a long time it was hard to get in, so I'm just going to try to finish, even though I'm kind of famous in Australia. So
yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, but that's the thing is she's been on TV in Australia for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know if she remembers me, but we like kept in touch randomly before she moved to the U.S. because I worked at a production company. So I remember she sent some stuff.
Yeah.
But like I don't.
She's another one where it's like you can't tell how old she is at all.
There's been some sort of like where they were talking about like she was saying she was younger than she is, and I don't want to judge people for that because it's like there's so much pressure as a woman in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But also, it's just like, are we?
But also, whatever she's doing, she looks great. So
and also she's
share
like,
your secrets.
At what point can you be honest? Like, at what level of fame can you be like, well, I am gonna get this job no matter what because I'm Rebel Wilson or Sandra Bullock or what? You know what I mean?
You know, I've heard women who in Hollywood who were A-list or are A-list have issues like that themselves. So then it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a constant battle. Like that's why I get mad when like people who aren't like in this like bracket of like moms or whatever who just start playing moms because it's like they're not getting the roles that they were just getting a year or 2 years ago. Like Mila Kunis did Bad Moms, and it's like she had one kid, and they're like, all right, let's have her play Bad Moms. Let's have her be the lead of Bad Moms. And I'm like, but she was just the hot girl, like in the last movie.
But you
like,
remember in LA, like people are moms at like 20.
Yeah.
So it's like I think
there's. I mean, all around the country, people are moms. You know.
Yeah. But I get it. It's like, like
it should be a song all around the country.
People are moms. It's a thing. It happens.
She's pretty.
Mila is beautiful.
That is celebrity crush for me.
She's dope.
Yeah,
I've been into Mila for a long time.
They seem like they're a perfect couple, Mila and Aston.
You said Aston.
Is it not Aston?
Ashton.
Ashton Kutcher.
Aston always gets upset.
Aston
Fucking
on
Aston Wallace.
Means you love Aston more than you love Ashton.
I do. I mean, he's like one of my good friends. You guys, look up Aston Wallace. He's a great comic.
And he thinks they don't look 18.
But if you want to get under his skin, every time he comes back from a cigarette break, I call him Trashton because he smells terrible.
Oh, yeah, he smokes.
He is terrible.
Not good for you, Ast. I'm sure he knows that.
You're aging.
How many shout-outs is he going to get in this episode?
I don't know. As many.
Now we don't need to invite him on the episode.
That's true. He's getting enough PR.
I think, he's going to be in the description. Mm-hmm. Aston was here.
In spirit.
Yeah. Do you believe in spirits?
No.
I mean, we talked about this. We had a whole episode.
That's why
I say, God bless you and stuff about God, but I don't believe it. You can say stuff and not believe it.
Well, okay, like the whole thing about like God being like a man in the sky. What about the whole thing about God concept, like universal connection, and like what if we think of like the idea of God more like a concept versus an individual?
But I don't know what would that, is that something in charge? Is that concept in charge of something? Like, what do you mean by a concept?
A conscious, maybe like a conscious universe or whatever. Like maybe there is some sort of system, maybe an ecosystem. I don't know.
That then just translates into environment for me. And I'm like, well, that's like.
An intelligent environment, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really feel like everything's careening towards some fatal or a fatalistic viewpoint. I don't know.
Or it could be just like that's the thing is, why does it have to be an outcome? It could just be experience for the sake of experience. Like I kind of like to think everyone is sort of consciousness or like quote unquote God playing a character. So like we're like the universe talking to each other right now.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I just don't it's just harder for me to like accept it as opposed to like
a little whimsical.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Yeah. It's like, I like it because that means that, like, everybody's connected and that we should, like, take care of each other and, like, be better to each other. But in terms of, like, a thing that is us, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's, like...
I mean, also, I think it's just, like, everyone's experience of their reality is going to be different from the next person's.
Yeah.
There's no way. It couldn't be identical. Is this too much? Zara's just giving me a look.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe
in. You're talking about can?
What? Can? No, I don't know. I don't know, like, the whole, like, religion, spirits, God talk, it always makes me a little, like, I guess I'm just more realistic about it, you know? Like, I don't know. If there was a God, would there be millions of people starving? Would there be wars?
Well, that's
it's just people are using God as an excuse to like ruin people's lives and ban abortions and stuff. So it's like God. It's like people favor God when it helps their cause, you know. And I don't know if I'm I'm in the camp
all
of
horseshit,
Yeah, well, I don't know. People truly don't believe what they believe is horseshit. So who am I to question? I'm not here to question people's beliefs, but I'm also.
True. I shouldn't have said other people's beliefs are horseshit because
whatever resonates. That's the title of the episode.
You feel that
whatever resonates with you, makes you happy, and you identify with. Truth is subjective. Blah blah. I'm sorry.
I do think that there are religious people that use it for good, but yeah, it seems to be.
It's a tool. It's a manipulation tool.
Sure, yeah, it's a tool. You can use it as, like a guideline. I mean, some people need religion because they can't think for themselves, but
here's some ethics.
And that's me. Like, now I've just insulted a whole bunch of people who really believe in religion and they're not free thinkers or whatever.
Well, also it's like, it could be easier because, hey, we were raised in this culture.
Yeah.
I identify with these ethics. Mm-hmm. Now I can live my life and have some sort of, whereas for me, I've always been a critical thinker. Like, I'm like, question everything. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't question everything.
I always have a problem with authority. Because it's just like, I don't want someone telling me what to do if there's no reason behind it. And I felt like a lot of the answers from religion were like, that's like God's plan. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, give me something else. Give me some reason behind this.
Well, I think there's a difference between religion and spirituality. It's like, here is a set, bunch of rules, and here is sort of a way to look at the world.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm more of if there is anything to believe in, aside from like hard work and ethics and do everything you can do to to like better yourself and reach your goals or whatever. But, I'm also in the, like, just be a good person camp. And also, like, if you're not a good person, I'm a strong believer that karma's going to get you. And it's very, like, interesting to me, like, in my life, it's just, there have just been examples of people that have like wronged me in one way or another. And I was like, all right, I'm going to like move past this. And, lo and behold, like months, years later, like karma gets them. And I'm like,
were
you know
karma?
What?
Were you karma?
Was I karma?
Were you the karma that got him? Did you go back and get him?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But maybe I did put some like things out there in the universe,
Do you believe in the evil eye thing? I heard you say something about that.
I think because I grew up with it.
Is that like an Islamic culture?
No, I think
that's also. I think like they have that.
I think
India
it's just
too.
like an Eastern thing.
That's why they like
a lot of people believe
brides.
In the evil eye.
They'll put like a fake mole on them so the evil eye isn't like looking at them.
What is the evil eye?
It's like anytime you like anything good happens to you.
Basically haters.
It's haters. Yeah.
It's like haters like projecting their hate on you and something bad happens.
Be humble, otherwise these haters gonna get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. But like I've also seen examples of it, where it's like somebody's wedding day and like they end up like spraining their ankle, like random shit like
Weddings
that.
are stressful. I feel like,
but it's true. There's a lot going on with stuff like that.
Going back to the karma thing though, like I think it's interesting because that like I don't think karma is real because I also think of the thing of like millions of people starving and like you know what I mean. So like I'm like, oh, it can't work that way because why would babies die? You know what I mean? Like they haven't done anything.
I'm gonna say something unpopular.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve to die.
Well, I don't think everything bad that happens is a result of karma. Yeah. But like for me it's like, someone wronged me and then like 5 years later like, they get an STD, it's like, okay, serves you right. But
that's just life though.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like I feel
but you know what? Maybe they were on that path anyway. You know?
Well,
and maybe
either way, it's like
if you treat someone poorly, you're making poor decisions for yourself. Yeah, so something's gonna happen to you.
I see it like that. Yeah. It's like, like people don't deal with their stuff, and so then that like affects people around them, and then that comes back to bite them in the ass one way or another. Usually, sometimes they get away with it. Sometimes they're in the White House.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say my unpopular opinion was that like maybe there's value in experience itself, and going back to sort of like a cosmic perspective, like if we are all like consciousness playing a role, maybe there's value in experiences even if they're horrible. That's not going to be something that's palatable for most people. I'm just putting that out there as a perspective.
I definitely feel like some of the worst times in my life I've learned the most.
And that's
like the bombs help you better than the good shows or whatever.
It'll push you further. The tough times push you further, help you grow. It's more activating. Pain's more activating than complacence.
But I also think it's like people like use it in the opposite way too. They're like, well, like you haven't suffered, you haven't whatever. And it's like, it doesn't matter. People don't have to suffer for that to happen. But I do think people learn a lot when bad stuff happens. You know, like in Game of Thrones, Sansa had this line that was like, she wouldn't have turned.
She'd be a little bird.
She'd still be a little bird if she didn't go through these bad things. And like people were really upset because it's like you attributed her being strong now to like her getting raped and all this other stuff.
Yeah, because she survived something that was horrible, and that is going to make you stronger. That's just a fact.
I mean, but I feel like she could have been that person anyway. Like, I don't think it's a requirement, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, she could have done it other ways, but like, the thing is like that's what happened, and that's what led her to that moment there and then, and who she was. So it's like you can't change the past.
Yeah,
like what happened happened.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna miss Game of Thrones. It was a fun show.
Yeah, I can't believe you watched it in a month. That's insane.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a better experience.
I mean, it puts you in a weird state of mind because like all you're watching during your free time is like, war
and titties,
rape,
war,
titties,
war
and titties. Is that the name of the episode?
War and titties.
War and titties.
War and titties.
All's fair in war and titties. I don't know.
Yeah, shit. I like
giving them a peek behind the scenes of our comedic genius, like naming these episodes.
Titties.
Have you guys noticed that Zara Nurbach is not?
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know. Yesterday she said she could finally make this episode, and then I was like ETA, and I never got a response.
I mean, it's a dope episode. It's just like it's funny.
I was like, if we're doing our own episode, we could have just done our segments.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is
man.
Zara, you're so like you love
structure.
Yeah, you love structure.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking loosey goosey. I'm just like, let's just see where it goes.
I feel like I'm in between.
Like I need to
see. It's a good balance.
I need to be more loose. I do.
But it's good to have structure too. There's value in that. So
I just function like
war titties. You know what I mean? Like structure, loose.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. It's just how I function in my life now because if it's not like scheduled on my calendar, if it's not in a list,
in the podcast.
if it's not in a list, like I just function on lists now. Like it's because if it's not written down, then it's probably not going to happen. That's just, I used to have a great memory, and then over the years,
did you write Game of Thrones down on your list before you watched it?
No, that was just like a goal of like when I get home at 11:30, I'm going to watch 2 hours of Game of Thrones.
Do you schedule sex? Is that
sometimes
what do you write it in?
Sometimes I have to like send him a calendar invite like, hey, we need a date night. Otherwise it's not gonna happen.
I used to put dates in my calendar.
Yeah, I have to put everything in my calendar, and I put everything on lists. And like I put personal, comedy, school, whatever, and I put like the most important shit up top, and I just try to delete as many lines a day as possible.
Yeah, my list never ends.
And that's the thing.
There's just things that
it gets bigger.
It just
I check stuff off, but it's still getting bigger. It's like fuck.
I mean, that means you have more shit to do. It's good. It just is more
like an
pressure.
Infinite list of shit to do.
Yeah, it's just also it's like I don't like to get that flyer done for Irvine. I did it at 5 a.m.
So I don't think people realize how hard you work, like how hard we work.
Yeah.
Because we all gotta, make money.
Yeah.
And we're doing our own comedy careers. And we're producing this brand.
It's a business.
This show and the podcast and the brand and the
and they want us to look
upcoming
young.
tours and stuff. And at the same time, we gotta look young. And some of us have to go work out, so it's just, and then some of us have relationships and family and crazy people in our lives,
Like ever-dying dogs. Just dogs that always have emergencies and shit everywhere. I don't know who I'm talking about.
I don't know, but I'm sure like everybody's, like people are like, they're like, so you're doing comedy full time? I mean, like, you do a lot. I'm like, no, I'm doing this after work every day.
Oh,
like,
what? Well, you could have 2 full-time jobs.
It's crazy.
The lady who did our intro music, Ruby Ibarra, she and I were scientists together. She has taken off. Like, her career is, like, amazing. She dropped her first album. She did this documentary. She had a MasterCard commercial with SZA, like, was doing a song with her. She's still fucking working as a scientist.
Did she do our intro song?
She did our intro song.
Intro song for this podcast.
Our listeners will hear her every single episode.
Yeah, Ruby Ibarra. But she's still, I'm like, girl, I'm trying to live through you. You need to, like, go full time. Like, I'm dying for you to finally be, like, she's still working.
But that's just how expensive living is, you
as
know?
A creative.
As a creative. And it's like, when you're a creative, people will just assume that you do shit for free. You know, they're like, oh, for the exposure, for the networking, for the contacts. There have been...
How about for the rent?
You know, and it's this really annoyed me, and I'm not going to name names, but like I agreed to do a charity gig in San Diego, and it was like a good opportunity for networking or whatever. It wasn't that much time like on stage, but I was happy to do it to make the connection. They promised me a hotel room, and I get down there, and they're like, oh, well, the hotel room is so impersonal. Here, you could just stay at my family friend's house. And I'm like, what the well, okay, one, I'm a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay at even though they might be your family friend, I'm not going to stay at a stranger's house.
Hotel.
You know, like you said, you would book me a hotel. So I'm in San Diego. It took me 4 hours to get there. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll just take an espresso after the show, and I'll drive back after the dinner, and it's fine. Like, I'm not going to be mad at you for it. But it's like, people take advantage of creative talent so much.
Yeah.
You know, and we're all like, we're hungry to do what we want to do because we love doing it. So like we do a lot of things for free or heavily discounted or in like for a trade in something.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also like people should be mindful of who they're taking advantage of, you know? Like don't promise something to a creative and not come through because, oh, well, I wasn't paying you anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that. You know, like it's a common courtesy to just be nice to people and, you know, do treat everyone like professionally. So
it's interesting that people are always like, oh, you have an agent, you're like full time, right? But then they also are the like same people who don't pay or like expect you to just do stuff.
Oh,
yeah. Like they think that you're making money, but it's definitely not coming from them.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I've always, and I don't know if, I think it's so important as a creative to have multiple sources of income. You can't have
anyone, honestly.
Yeah. As anyone, but like especially, it's I don't know. Like I think, what did Nipsey Hussle say? Get property if you can.
Yeah,
it's hard now, but like it's I mean it's crazy right now. It's like you almost have to. Well, this has always been the case. You need money to make money, essentially. So it's almost like, well, how do you make that jump?
Yeah.
How do you, and people work their asses off in this city just to invest in themselves. Like, people work so fucking hard.
Yeah.
For years and years and years. Mm-hmm. I think that's why people have resentment towards the privilege of legacies is because that privilege really does help.
It does.
Because people really just, I see why people are homeless. If you don't have a support system, you're just an out of work actor.
Yeah.
And also, I think like there's some stats, but like a huge part of the population is prone to like a mental break at some point. Yeah. And if you don't have family,
hi.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. But if you don't have family, that's like you're fucked. Yeah. Like you lose your job, you lose everything. And so like we were talking about how grateful we are for like our families because like Indian people like we like we'll be there when shit goes down. We won't know how to like our families may not know how to deal with it emotionally before, after, whatever, but like there will be someone with you at the hospital. There will be someone feeding you. Like,
how many homeless people do you see or how many homeless South Asians do you see in America? There's plenty in India.
None. I have not seen one homeless Desi person or South Asian person in LA.
Yeah.
I've seen like a few homeless like East Asian people. There's one that lives in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we do record in Koreatown, but but I haven't seen, because I think going home is always an option. And I think we're very lucky that way where we can go home. We can be essentially like you have the luxury to fail. Like it's not failing is never a good experience for anyone. And like, you know, going home after being a failure, I mean, that's horrible for everybody. Especially, I would say like, going home to my family after failing is not something I would ever want to do. But like, they would be there for me.
You'd have a roof over your head and food, which is another form of privilege.
Mm-hmm. And emotional abuse.
A ton of emotional abuse. So it's like,
their rules again, even though I'm like in my 30s.
But like in terms of like you'll have a place to shit, you'll have food to eat, you know, a bed. It's, I mean, I think also, I don't know, it's like, is that the cultural thing? Like, I feel like if I had an emergency and I needed money, I feel like my family would give it to me. Yeah. If there was an emergency and I need money. My sister would. Anyone who had it would give it. Yeah. And I think I would do the same. I'd still feel like sort of like, oh, if someone needs it, in my family, I'd have to help.
I think my family, like, we're actually a little burned by that happening a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, my brother and I are more cautious, maybe in that, like, maybe more American or whatever, like, in that. But I still think, like, if something happened to me, if I had some mental issue, like, something, like, I would have.
Yeah, of course. I think, they were your parents were taken advantage of, right?
Yeah.
Because, this is how we are culturally supportive financially.
There's a fine line between, like, an emergency and then someone taking advantage of you because they know they can abuse that, like, relationship.
Yeah. Are we going to do a 2-part episode, or should we wrap this one up and do the next one?
Yeah, let's wrap this one up and then figure out the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. This is fun.
Yeah.
Good vibes. Good vibes. Warren Titties.
You're on the fastest route to the end of this episode.
Sorry. I'm my next gig's in Woodland Hills in the Valley, so I'm trying to think.
Are you gonna stay there when you're done?
No, I wanted to, but he's like filming a commercial down here.
Her man.
So it's like, well, no one's up there. Why am I gonna spend the night in the Valley? So I don't know.
So shows. When does this come out? This comes out
Tuesday.
Oh yeah. So our New York show. We're gonna be in New York at New York Comedy Club at the Gramercy location. Actually, it's called the Midtown location. 11:30 p.m. New York Comedy Club
on May 31st.
I didn't say the date. That's
this Friday.
Yes.
Friday, May 31st.
Use code FRC for $10 off on your ticket. Just go to the website, the club's website for tickets.
Please use that code.
Use it. No, you know what?
Save yourself $10.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest here,
Yeah,
guys. We don't make money off your tickets unless you use that code. Use code FRC. Otherwise, we won't get any money.
Everyone wins.
Everybody wins.
Tickets.
Buy tickets.
And the show was lit. We sold out our last show. We want to do it again.
It's gonna be fun. It's always and we have a great lineup. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
And we have other shows because someone else wanna.
July 23rd,
I forget the dates.
8 p.m. Irvine Improv. And then we also have our show second Sunday of every month at Westside Comedy Theater at 9 p.m.
Next one is June 9th. I remember that because 6-9.
I
I like mnemonic techniques, but June 9th.
Cool.
9 p.m. We have a Patreon.
We're trying to figure our shit out, dude.
I don't know.
We're trying
just follow us.
Follow us.
Follow
Facial
our social
Recognition
media.
Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter.
Yeah. All of that. Facialrecognitioncomedy.com.
Yeah, we also have like a list of our performers too. So if you want to like pull performers from
Can
us.
we do each other's socials?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'm like, whose do I want to do?
Of course you want to do Zara.
Well, because like a cheerleader.
Like the hardest.
Okay. Well, I like yours too.
Just, you could go ahead, whichever one.
All right. Well, I kind of want to do both. No.
Okay, do both. Do all of them.
All right.
Do everybody's.
Yeah.
All right. So, you can find me, Zara Ali, at Really Zara. Zara is spelled Zahra.
Yay!
Perfect impression.
I'm not good at impressions. And then Pallavi Ganalan. PALLAVIGUNALAN.
Yeah.
I did it. I always
You
spell
did
your
it. That
name
was
right. What if
more
I
like a
never spelled your name?
cheerleader.
I'm just excited. I don't know. I get excited when people pronounce it and spell it right.
Yeah. And I'm
Cool.
Fizza. Fizza Dasani. FIZAA DOSANI. That's it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.